Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, I'm going to be showcasing one of the rarest possible Pokemon that can ever be used in the Love Cup, and that is a shiny, Great League eligible Krookodile. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, Tiger Sony, so many thanks for the battle submission. Krookodile, it's an amazing Pokemon to use in the Love Cup, however, it's very difficult to get one. The only way to have a Great League eligible Krookodile is by doing the level 44 research, and this trainer was able to get the shiny from that research as well. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and take a look at shiny Great League Krookodile in the Love Cup. Hopping into the first match, we have the matchup that basically defines this meta, and that is Licky versus Licky. Opponent is going to go straight for the Earthquake, and Tiger is going for the same, looking to connect with some heavy hitting damage. The Earthquake is going to be no shielded by the opponent, and now that the CMP tie is known, unfortunately, the opponent is very comfortable playing to it again. The opponent did go for the body slam. Somehow that wasn't a CMP tie. It visually looked like a CMP tie. I guess Tiger may have lagged there for a little bit, and unfortunately, he did not get the CMP tie when he tried to. Earthquake is going to be shielded. Opponent looking for the farm down, but they're not quite going to get there. Licky making it to one final body slam. Opponent does get KO'd, and against all odds, Tiger is actually able to win the lead. In comes Slowbro, that's going to be swiftly answered with the shiny Krookodile, and look at the coloration on this Pokemon. It looks so different from the regular. They're going to full send the Scald in the back. Oh no, it's a Skeleturge, and this opponent's backline is going to get fully swept by a Krookodile. They shield up the Crunch, and Krookodile is just deleting this trainer's hopes and dreams. Crunch picks up the KO. Slowbro's getting farmed down as well, and the opponent immediately concedes the match. We're moving to match number 2, Licky versus Solrock. Solrock staying in, so it appears they are core broken. The Earthquake full send is going to be shielded. Opponent has to connect with a Solar Beam if they want to deal meaningful damage here. We see the shield from the Licky. Unfortunately, that is on the Rock Slide bait. Solar Beam's a very expensive charge attack. Solrock not able to get there before Earthquake number 2, and I think at this point, you're probably just going to let this go and save a shield for the backline, and that's exactly what we see as Solar Beam is able to connect. In comes Krookodile. Krookodile will get the full Mudslap farm down. No way that's another Solar Beam. It's just going to be the Rock Slide, and Krookodile is able to tank that. Opponent gonna bring in Ariados. Ariados would be an absolute disaster for the Clefable in the back, so very nice to see it here. Crunch connects. That is huge damage onto the Ariados. Ariados is gonna fire off a last second charge attack. It's gonna be the Trailblaze in the back. It's a Confusion Slowbro, and I have never seen a more upset Slowbro. These Confusions doing absolutely nothing. Crunch, one hit KO. Ariados is getting farmed down, and this Pokemon is absolutely unbelievable in this meta. Oh my goodness. Next matchup, Licky versus Triple Legacy Seaking. Seaking is going to be spamming out these Icy Winds, and now that they have debuffed the Licky, they go with a diabolical strategy of switching into the mirror. Throwing energy when debuffed, usually not the play, but in this particular instance, there's a specific strategy behind it. Tiger wanted to put the Licky into a range where he could potentially pick up a knockout with a Moonblast, and he's intentionally saving the Krookodile, anticipating that this is an attempt at a bait out. Body Slam lands, it does not KO. Clefable barely able to hang on, firing off the Moonblast, oh my goodness, the opponent able to hang on 1 HP. And now they're going to bring in the Seaking. Seaking farming up. They throw on Alignment, giving a free Mudslap to the Krookodile. Icy Wind will, of course, slow Krookodile's roll here. Not able to do as much damage as it typically would. Going for this Brick Break. Brick Break is going to land. That's going to pick up the KO. In the back is Scrafty. And now Krookodile will be able to debuff and debuff and debuff. Krookodile trying for another move. The opponent, I think, may have been able to farm down there, but they didn't want to risk Tiger getting the damage registration air, able to bank that Brick Break for later, and switch back into Licky. The opponent's biggest issue now is they are debuffed, which means that body slams are actually going to do a ton of damage now. They're forced to double shield, they get the farm down, but there's a Brick Break loaded Krookodile winning the CMP tie. Will this be enough to KO? Their defense is -1, it KOs the Scrafty, and that is a clutch victory. Licky versus Wigglytuff. We're going to see a safe switch into the opposing Licky, and Tiger is going to respond with Clefable. Again, making the read that Krookodile will have better play in the back. Krookodile does a great job at shutting down the rollout users, and it does a great job at shutting down Galarian Slowbro. Considering that those two Pokemon themselves form a very strong core, now we begin to see why Krookodile is such a threat in this meta, and why I am an absolute fool for having transferred the one that I got from the level 44 research. It wasn't intentional, it was unfortunately me accidentally transferring it, but it comes back to bite me in a pretty major way. Here the opponent is actually able to grab both shields in this mid game, so they're probably just going to let this go. Very happy that they now have a shield advantage for their Charmer. In comes Wigglytuff. It looks like Clefable not going to make a Moonblast, forced to settle for the Swift. Swift does a little bit of damage, and now Licky re-hits the field of play. Licky going for the Earthquake, looking to deal some pretty solid damage in this matchup. Krookodile is not going to have to worry about this Wigglytuff anymore, as the Wigglytuff is now basically KO'd. They go for the Icy Wind. What do they have in back? They have Miltank. If this is an Ice Beam Miltank, though, Ice Beam will do quite a lot of damage, so it comes down to what are they running. Miltank, they Body Slam, and they do not have the Ice Beam. If they had it, they would have thrown it, so they're running Thunderbolt, aiming to try and target down Pokemon like alomomola. But by sacrificing the Ice Beam coverage, that now means that Krookodile is absolutely feasting here. Krookodile able to hang on, surviving both Body Slams. That looked like a CMP tie. Brick Break picks up the KO. In comes Licky to get the rollout farm down and to take the win. We see the exact same leads in the next match. Licky into Wigglytuff. This time the Wigglytuff opting to stay in this lead matchup. No baits here from the Licky, going for the Earthquake and able to punish a rare no shield from a Wigglytuff player. Wigglytuff going for the Icy Wind, Licky committing the shield. Oh, it's actually a Swift. Interesting play by the opponent. So no debuff applied, which means this is a full power Body Slam, and that plus a rollout will win switch advantage. Opponent is going to bring in Miltank. Licky throwing on 3, trying to catch the opponent into a CMP tie. Body Slam will connect. That's not going to do a ton of damage. Gonna go for the Body Slam right before the Earthquake, and that's actually really smart play by our battler here, as the Miltank would want to throw before Licky gets the Earthquake. Tiger, understanding that, throws one before the Earthquake to force the CMP tie and get some extra damage for free. And now Clefable hitting the field of play. Opponent throwing on alignment here, but just wanting to get the damage before Clefable makes it to the Swift. It is going to be a Body Slam. Oh, they throw on alignment again. Clefable never going to say no to free energy, especially when your fast move is Fairy Wind. Making it to the back-to-back moves. It looked like the battler was worried that Miltank was 2 off, so tried to go for a CMP tie. Wasn't able to get the CMP tie, but we see a switch and a catch onto Krookodile. Opponent is going to make one final charge attack, and that's a bit unfortunate for Krookodile. Krookodile forced to burn a shield. In the back is Licky. Licky, we know a Body Slam will not KO here. They're going to need to throw a harder hitting move. So they're going to farm up to the Earthquake, losing the CMP tie, and Krookodile's pacing and moveset is just unbelievable in this meta. Forcing the final shield, the opponent is now 2 stages debuffed. Body Slam will not KO. They go for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball in an attempt to try and do more damage. I know it's resisted, but they're doing what they can. Swift is going to land, and thanks to those 2 Brick Break debuffs, Swift plus Fairy Winds actually picks up the win. We see a very familiar lead, leading Licky into Wigglytuff. It's very interesting to see the different micro metas that can develop from day to day. I don't think I've played against a single Wigglytuff in all of my battles, and here we see Wigglytuffs on quite a few teams. Licky is going to be committing the shield. Wigglytuff going for a Swift. Throwing a Swift there is a bit surprising to me, as you do have better pacing when it comes to getting to your next charge attack, but that does mean that Licky is still at full power. We're going to see a Confusion Bruxish hit the field of play, and Bruxish's energy could actually be a little difficult in the back, but not after landing the Earthquake. Aqua Tail will do a lot of damage here, calling it, letting it go. It's the Psychic Fangs in the back. What is this? There's a Shadow Darmanitan on my screen, although it's not going to be for much longer. Darmanitan gets deleted in 4 Mud Slaps, and the opponent, they're going to resign, and I cannot blame them. Oh my goodness. We move into the next match, leading into Bruxish. Bruxish throwing on alignment, and that's going to give Licky a fast move for free. And giving free fast moves to your opponent, it's going to cause you to lose games. So a lot of these opponents, the free energy, I mean, it's helping out Tiger quite a bit. Tiger has had some pretty consistently good charge attack timing throughout, and we're seeing the difference that it's making in these games. Learning how to properly time your charge attacks is a massive difference in a lot of games between winning and losing. Bruxish sells out with both shields for switch advantage, sending in the Krookodile. Tiger is saying it's a blind Psychic Fangs, and it is. The blind Psychic Fangs into the dark type is devastating. In comes a normal type, but that is not a good normal type. It's Lickitung. Lickitung, the old meta staple, but with the body slam nerf and the fact that all the normal types now have rollout so they can beat Lickitung. Lickitung has fallen off the face of the earth, and now Lickitung is getting absolutely shredded by this shiny Krookodile. That brick break is gonna land. In comes solrock, and this is just absolute devastation. The opponent had 0 Pokemon that beat Krookodile, and now they are paying the price. Quick switch into Clefable, making it to the Swift. Opponent is debuffed. Swift easily KOs. Back in comes the Lickitung. Opponent not quitting, but they're also not winning, as Swift is going to KO Lickitung. And Krookodile, I mean, they just had nothing for it. My goodness. Licky going up against Hisuian Electrode. Hisuian Electrode farming up a ton of energy. They throw on 9, which does give a free rollout to the Licky. Wild Charge is going to connect. I actually don't mind undertapping here, because if you do 1 in the move, the opponent will be able to do 1 and throw and then potentially switch out. So that way you're at least forcing them to make a shield decision while they're debuffed. Opponent is now going to make a very nice play, doing 1 Thundershock and a catch onto their Licky. And now the shiny Krookodile hitting the field of play, going for this brick break and winning the CMP tie by quite a bit over Licky. Licky does have a lot of energy. Krookodile no shielding, calling that it's not the Earthquake, but it is the Earthquake. That is survivable, but not by much. Licky able to make 1 final charge attack. Krookodile just going to let itself get KO'd just to give an energy advantage to Clefable. In the back, the opponent has Alomomola. Alomomola is the water-type Bastion of this meta. It has a terrible moveset. It can't do any damage, but it's monstrously bulky. Alomomola is going to be spamming out Psychic. Psychic is actually going to add up a little bit. We're going to see a catch by the opponent onto the Electrode, and at the very least, Clefable gets to remove Electrode from the field of play, but unfortunately, I think Alomomola is going to be able to take this win for the opponent, as they still have a shield to hide behind. They can even let that go, and now Clefable needs to farm down here. Oh my goodness, that got closer than I thought, but Alomomola is just too bulky. Bad lead in the next match. Oh, and it's counter as well. This team is ABA weak to counter. Opponent power up punching on alignment. Trainer, please. This trainer did mention that they were able to climb 200 elo with the team and hit veteran. So these battles are probably in the 24 to 2500 elo range. The opponent did shield up the first, respecting a potential Shadow Ball. They're going to fire off another power-up punch, and that's very okay. You definitely just bring in Clefable. Clefable is going to be hit with, I think that's another power-up punch. They are just not building up to the nuke whatsoever. They're trying to ramp up as much as they can. In comes Licky, and Licky is going to be met with the Moonblast. Moonblast is going to connect, dealing some very nice damage. In comes Krookodile, and Krookodile will commit an early shield, hoping that it's the Earthquake, but it's not. It's a Body Slam, and that is unfortunate. Krookodile going to no shield, but honestly, now there's not a lot of energy on the Clefable, and if the opponent has built their team well, they should have a Fairy Resist in the back. Crunch is going to be shielded up. The opponent is going to get a full farm down. In comes Clefable. Clefable makes the Moonblast, not trusting any Swift to knock out. Metachamp does have very good bulk. Moonblast KOs in the back. Maybe it's a win con. It's going to be an Electrode. An Electrode not particularly good. It's going to need 6 to get to the double discharge, and it is not going to get there. The opponent, all they had to do was be able to beat a Pokemon that was at half HP, and unfortunately for them, the Kanto Electrode unable to get the job done. Hopping into the final match, Licky versus Wigglytuff. A lead matchup that I think we've seen 3 or 4 times now. Earthquake, no shielded by the Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is going to win the CMP tie. Will we finally see a Wigglytuff go for the Icy Wind here? No, they keep going for the Swift. Wigglytuff going to be hit with the Body Slam, shielded up. The opponent, I'm very surprised at that shield because they're just going to have to shield again if they want to win switch advantage. They decide to let that through. So as the opponent there, I would definitely prefer to see them just try and play to the shielding scenarios that they win. The one shield, it appears, is not a shielding scenario that they win. So playing to it, honestly, just doesn't do them any favors. Licky does get quite a lot of energy. In comes the Krookodile. The opponent should just full send a nuke here. They go for a Body Slam. To me, that's quite surprising. When you're up that much energy, it makes sense to try and go for the harder hitting move. And now, I mean, it looks like they're perfectly content to just spam out Body Slam. So maybe they are on Shadow Ball. That could make sense. Because if they're Shadow Ball, obviously you're not going to be Shadow Balling a Dark type. Krookodile going to be hit with another Body Slam. They got so much energy farming down. Can Krookodile get the farm down? No, it cannot. And Krookodile is going to get KO'd. So Krookodile gets KO'd. It's up to Clefable to try and sweep the endgame. And the opponent has Lickitung. So we're seeing 2 times Lickitung making an appearance. Please, if you have it, just run Licky. I mean, this trainer did have Licky, but you can run Miltank. Miltank is going to outperform Lickitung in this meta quite considerably. Body Slam, number 2, fired by this Lickitung, and Clefable needs to get to a Moonblast plus a Swift. It's going to be close. Clefable is very low. Did it manage to get the double up here? Moonblast, KOs. 1 off the Swift and gets there. And the opponent's double normal strategy not winning the game today. It looks like they may have closed their app, but the Swift will pick up the win. All in all, these are some very entertaining battles, so thank you to Tiger for sending them in. And my goodness, what an unbelievable flex. A Pokemon that's as rare to get as a Great League eligible Krookodile. I believe most people only get 1, and to have yours be shiny as well, unbelievably good luck. So thank you so much for sending them in. Krookodile is an absolute beast in this meta. You can pair it up with just about anything. Ideally, you'll probably want something that does okay against fighters, as that's really the one thing it's going to struggle against. So something like a Galarian Slowbro forms an amazing core pairing with it. But my goodness, if you have this Pokemon, use it, because it feels absolutely insane in this meta. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our channel members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is genuinely so appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.